Okay, so next we are going to discuss food timing and frequency. And the topics we are going to go into is having regular meal schedules, meal prep, food prep, why it makes life a lot easier, how many meals per day and why, and macros per meal. This is not going to be applicable to everyone. Okay, it depends what way you like to go about a fat loss journey, but this is why it's relatively important. It will be applicable to most people. So having regular eating times. Okay, so have your meals in and around the same times. This is even if you're someone who does intermittent fasting, having your meals in and around the same eating times. The reason why this is important is because what you happens is you cue up your hunger hormones. Have you ever noticed, like, let's say if you're in working an office job or even school, right? You always have lunch in and around, say, half 12. By 12 o'clock, your stomach will start to rumble. It'll start go, what I mean? It's telling you, hey, what's the story? Do we get food in around this time? Your hunger hormones will start to sync with your circadian rhythm. So, having foods in and around the same times, if you can on a daily basis, is going to make it easier for you to deal with bouts of hunger because you're only going to get hungry in and around those times, but you're going to be eating around that time anyway, so you don't have to experience hunger for that long. Hunger is obviously going to be somewhat inevitable to a degree, but if we know we're going to eat in and around that time, it's easier to manage. Follow a simple meal plan. Okay, now what I mean by this is, for me, I have foods, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock, then 9 o'clock, in and around that time. Okay. And I spread my meals out throughout the day. That's what works best for me. It might be for something different for you. You might do intermittent fasting. You might only have 3 meals a day. And with that, I follow a very simple meal plan. I have usually eggs for the first meal, then I'll have oats, second meal, chicken with whatever, third meal, and then something before bed. If you know roughly what you're having every day, it just reduces decision fatigue. Um, Pre and post workout meals, if you are someone that's doing workouts, you're going to need about an hour before, an hour after, but don't overcomplicate this. For a fat loss phase, don't be stressing about pre and post workout meals. It's not, you know, I wouldn't be worried about too much. It's not like you have this anabolic window that you need to hit. Okay, just try and get your meals in as best as you possibly can. So meal prep and food prep will make your life a million times easier. I cannot stress this enough, right? I know people hate to hear it, right? All you need to do is look at 2 or 3 days in advance. Now, I like to do food prep. Food prep is where I will cook a big batch of chicken, so like a kilo of chicken, and I'll chop it all up and then I'll have it in a big lunchbox. For the next 3 or 4 days, my partner and I can just go grab from that lunchbox. We can weigh out cooked chicken. We can put it into wraps. We can have it with our curries. We can do whatever we want with it. Okay. And that'll do us for 2 or 3 days. And I also might do the same with rice, and I might do overnight oats for 3 days. And that's it. I'm sorted. I know what I have. I don't have to think about it. It's there, it's ready, and I just grab on the go. And this is very, very important. Now, if you're someone who wants individual meals, you do the same, but only do 2 or 3 days in advance. 3 days max. I think any more is a bit of a waste of time because food starts to spoil, etc., unless you're going to freeze it. But if you do this on a Sunday, right? Because most people work Monday to Friday, and let's say if you prepare either meal or foods enough for the next 3 days, you are going to go to work. You're going to find it much easier to get through your day because you're going to come home and go, oh, great, I don't have to cook. I know what I'm having. There I go. You're also going to come home from work and not have to deal with that decision of, okay, I have nothing prepared. Do I have a takeaway or do I eat crap out of the press? Oh, no, wait, I won't do any of that because I'm on a fat loss phase. I'm in the TCM um, fat loss challenge and I have all my food prepared. So I'm just going to stick to what I'm having and I'm going to stay in my calorie deficit and I'm going to get amazing results. It is literally that simple. You know what I mean? You don't want to put yourself into that decision making process. Pick 2 days of the week where you're going to prep. For me, it's Sundays and Thursdays, or Sundays and Wednesdays, depending on how my week is going. And that usually gets me most of my foods. And I don't. This is not. It's not perfect, right? I'm not perfect either. I always have chicken cooked, and I always have like rice or something like that pre-made, and I'll always have oats ready and to go. That's it. They're the main things. I have vegetables. Sometimes I always do a little bit of cooking, but the thing is, I don't have to do a half an hour cooking every day. I might have to do 5 minutes max, and that's what you're trying to reduce. You're trying to make life as easy as possible. So meals per day, I would always aim for 3 to 5, depending on you as the individual. I personally have 4. It's what works best for me. I know people that have 2. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's about what works best for you. Some people are going to do perfectly fine in two. Some people are going to do much better in five. It's really down to you as the individual. I'm fortunate enough where my job, I work this around my job. Okay. So I usually have 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, five or six, and nine. And I like to have four meals with snacks in between because it just helps me. Okay, that's what I like to enjoy. But you might be someone who just has three. You might have a breakfast when you wake up, a lunch midday during work, and then after work you might have another meal and then a snack or something towards the end of the day. You got to find out what works best for you and just try and evenly distribute them throughout the day. Um, yeah, obviously providing energy. That's why I would distribute mine. I usually have one pre and post workout. So all I'm saying is find what works best for you. Don't be worrying about it too much. Don't overthink this. Don't be thinking there's a magic number that you need to have. There's not. It's about what works best for you. Could be three, could be five, could be two. Macros per meal. You want to aim for about 30 to 40 grams if you can. All right. It's just an easy way. The reason why we tell clients to do this is very simple. We want the vast majority of your meals to be made up of protein because it's nice and filling, which means you're going to have to reduce your carbs or fats somewhere else, and it means likelihood that you're going to stay within a calorie deficit. It's very very simple. Okay. Um, Consider having most of your carbs pre and post workout if you're someone that's into training. But I would also say have your carbs, save some carbs towards the end of the day as your last meal because it will help with satiety when you're going to sleep. Don't be worrying about carb distribution in general. Okay. Yes, you want to make sure you have enough energy for your workout during the fat loss phase, pre and then obviously post. You want to make sure that you're replenishing glycogen, and then you want to make sure you have some before you go to bed, just so that you're not going to bed hungry. All right. Don't overthink about this. Some people are just going to have most of their carbs in the morning. Some people are going to have most of their carbs in the evening. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's about what works best for you. Okay. I do quite a bit of intense training, so I try and have it pre, and I also want to replace glycogen, so I have it post then. And try and keep fats low before and after workouts. Yeah, so just with fats, it is the one thing that I would be careful with. Now, once again, it depends what works best for you, but I try and get most of my fats in the morning, and then I'd also save some for at nighttime because they're slower digestion along with carbs. You want to think of satiety, okay? But don't overthink about this either. It's just if you're doing intense workout, if you're doing a gym program, you do want protein and fats, or sorry, protein and carbs. Protein to obviously support muscle breakdown, carbs to support the workout because it's your primary fuel source, and then you want to do that the same afterwards. If you add in fats, it's just going to slow down the process a little bit, all right? But don't overthink about it. That is everything for food timing and food frequency. You don't need to overcomplicate this. These are all just recommendations. There is an element of what works best for you as well. Okay, that's it for now.